Hey family, how are you doing? That might be a question that we're asking a lot of people in our lives, our friends, our family, even strangers, maybe the neighbors we haven't seen in a long time, but now we've seen them and we say, hey, how are you doing? And I'm sure that many of us would have a different answer to that. Yet all of us are in a place, our entire world, at a time we are looking a little more inward. You know, many times I think we blame our external circumstances, and we are in the reality of a pandemic and a serious and even at times a very scary moment in our history. But also in our lives, external limitations are often from something internal. We're getting a little more introspective. We're having a little more time to think and say, how am I doing? What am I doing? Where am I failing? What am I feeling? Why am I scared? Why am I angry? Why do I feel lost? Everything has slowed down and we've been forced to do that. And now we're getting introspective. Now, before we go on, you see that something has happened to my face in the central placement of where my nose and my mouth meet. There's something in between, and that is called a mustache. I am doing this in honor as a throwback to the late 1980s and early 1990s SGT pastoral staff. So this is a throwback honor to the mighty men of God who wore the stash during those years. Now that we've acknowledged it, you can listen. I want to read from Psalm 135 for us, verses 13 through 18. O Lord, your name endures. Your reputation, O Lord, lasts. For the Lord vindicates his people and has compassion on his servants. The nation's idols are made of silver and gold. They are man-made. They have mouths but cannot speak, eyes but cannot see, and ears but cannot hear. Indeed, they cannot breathe. They're dead. There's no life in them. Those who make them will end up like them, as will everyone who trusts in them. You know, you and I will be like what we worship. We will become like who or what we trust in. As we have these moments of reflection, looking inward, I believe that God is calling us to ask ourselves, what are the idols in my life? What have I placed my trust in? It's interesting how it says the statement that those who make them will end up like them. In other words, you'll have a mouth but cannot speak, an eye but cannot see, an ear but cannot hear. Maybe in this moment we're all having, you're beginning to say, wow, I feel like I'm a little lost right now. It's like I don't feel certain things or see certain things, and even as it connects with God. And I think many of us are going through that. And this is my encouragement to us as a people of God, that we wouldn't stop there, but we would go deeper and get more internal and realize that maybe there are idols in our lives, things that we have placed as desires. Maybe they're not physical metal and gold statues that we hold, but it can be something physical, like money. Maybe you've realized that in your life, you're going from constant ups and downs, highs and lows. Sounds just like the market, doesn't it? Just what money does in our whole economy throughout the world. Highs and lows. I'm happy, I'm sad. I've got a future, I have no future. I'm discouraged by now. See how you become like what you worship. But if we turn our eyes, our ears, our mouths, our hearts, the breath of who we are towards God, and we look to him, then suddenly what can take place is we become like him. The idols or even the ideals, the things we desire, that if I just have this, everything will be perfect, that we run after, are things that are actually giving us the sense of emptiness and loneliness that we're wrestling with. When really all we need to do is turn and let those idols fall as we desire to become like Jesus Christ, Almighty God. That's my encouragement to you, people of God.